Let's dive right into the source material for this deep dive.
Some good.
Today, we're looking at just one source, a review of the film The Surfer.
Right. Specifically the one from Moviescramble from the Glasgow Film Festival.
Exactly. And our mission here isn't just, a plot summary.
No, definitely not.
We want to really get inside what this reviewer is telling us. What did they focus on? What was the feeling, the tone they got from it?
Yeah, understanding the film purely through their description of the experience.
And they kick things off with this really vivid contrast.
They really do. It starts with this image of like a perfect Australian beach.
Golden sands, crystal clear waters, that kind of thing.
And this hallucinatory yellow glow from
Yeah.
the color saturation, dreamy music.
Yeah,
It sounds amazing.
utterly idyllic, yeah. But then almost immediately, the reviewer pulls the rug out.
Right. They say, sure, it looks like paradise, but for Nicolas Cage's character,
Yeah.
the surfer, well, it's tied up with his past.
Yeah. And it quickly becomes, and this is their phrase, a nightmarish endurance test of toxic masculinity and privilege.
Wow. Okay. So straight into the heavy stuff. That's quite the setup from the reviewer.
It really is. So how does the reviewer say this endurance test actually begins? What's the spark?
Well, it seems pretty simple on the surface. Cage and his son, they just want to go surfing.
At this place called Lunar Bay.
Yep. And according to the reviewer, they're immediately challenged. This character the reviewer calls Pitbull,
He just confronts them.
barks at them apparently, tells them, quote, don't live here, don't surf here. Pretty blunt.
Even though Cage's character actually grew up there, right? That's what the reviewer says.
Yeah, but his American accent gives him away. He's not seen as a local anymore, even though he's like trying to reconnect. He's even bought a house nearby.
But he tries to push back initially.
A little, but it seems he doesn't get very far.
Huh.
Then Julian McMahon's character, Scally, shows up.
And the reviewer paints quite a picture of him.
Oh yeah, mahogany tan and blinding white teeth.
Hmm.
He tries to smooth things over, suggesting Cage just, surf somewhere else.
And this is where the reviewer clarifies who the antagonists are. These Bay Boys.
Exactly. They're the ones who, in the reviewer's words, claim this beach. It's their turf.
What really caught my eye was the reviewer's note on the visual style here.
The Western comparison.
Yeah. Tense, Western-like close-ups of scrunched-up eyes and gnashing teeth. That tells you so much about how the reviewer saw that scene.
It really does. Like a classic standoff, high noon on the beach, sort of.
Definitely gives that vibe. And the immediate result.
Cage gets humbled. Publicly. In front of his son, he has to leave.
And the review makes it clear that this initial defeat, well, it's just the start.
Oh, yeah. The reviewer says after this, the film plunges us into a desperate, humiliating series of events.
And they make a specific point about Cage here, don't they?
They do. They feel this role is, uniquely suited for Nicolas Cage.
Which, given his reputation for certain kinds of roles.
Exactly. And reading the rest of the review's description, you kind of see why they'd say that.
Part of this plunge, the reviewer stresses, is the environment itself. It's not just a backdrop.
No, it's oppressive. This relentless, searing heat, peak Australian summer near Christmas.
And the sensory details the reviewer picks out are intense.
Yeah, they really make you feel it. Arid landscapes, Cage's dehydrated panting, matching the waves,
Kangaroos swatting flies, men sweating.
Cage's skin getting redder, his lips chapped. It sounds physically grueling just based on the review.
You can almost feel that sticky heat reading it.
Definitely. And the reviewer keeps highlighting the contrast. The place still looks beautiful.
Like a postcard, magical sunsets, even a supportive score sometimes.
But underneath there's this constant threat. A palpably threatening undercurrent, they call it. Everyone he meets is unwelcoming at best.
It sounds like a beautiful trap.
That's a good way to put it. So besides the heat and the unwelcoming locals, the reviewer digs into the themes they saw.
Right, this is where privilege, localism, and toxic masculinity come in, according to them.
Yeah, they point to Scally, calling him a trust fund baby. And they mention this woman.
In a velour tracksuit.
That's the one. Believing the Bay Boys keep the riffraff out, seeing it as a nice area for nice people. The reviewer, quoting that directly, really highlights that entitled attitude.
And they give a pretty grim example of this localism in action.
Horrific, yeah. 2 French tourists get beaten up by the gang.
Mhm.
And notice how the reviewer calls the gang members good boys, but puts it in quotes.
Yeah, clearly signaling their own take on that, rejecting any idea that these guys are actually good.
Exactly. So the reviewer sees the film, or rather the director, Lorcan Finnegan, and writer Thomas Martin, exploring this idea of localism, locals defending their turf right alongside toxic masculinity.
And Scally isn't just about the beach.
Apparently not. The reviewer mentions he runs some kind of corporate bullshit retreat,
Oh, interesting.
focused on breaking down male egos, but also, kind of weirdly, worrying that men have become too soft.
Huh. So connecting the beach aggression to these broader, maybe messed up ideas about being a man?
Seems like that's what the reviewer picked up on, and the Bay Boys themselves.
What's the reviewer's description of them?
They have the whole setup. Cookie-cutter wives, kids, and cool boxes. Sometimes they're allowed in.
Sometimes.
Yeah, suggesting it's mostly a male world. And their interactions are described as hazing-like ceremonies and chanting about power.
Sounds pretty cultish.
Right. And they use that power cruelly and humiliatingly. The reviewer really paints them as driven by exclusion and dominance.
So you've got the heat, the social isolation, these feral Bay Boys.
Yeah.
The reviewer says it pushes Cage's character. Where?
To the very edge of his sanity.
And it's not just one thing causing it.
No, the reviewer attributes it to that hallucinatory hot sun, but also constant gaslighting and verbal abuse. It's like assault from all sides.
And the reviewer lists specific things he loses, right? It feels very deliberate.
Very specific. Shoes, sunglasses, phone, a family heirloom watch,
Right?
and then his car.
It's like he's being systematically stripped bare.
Totally.
Yeah.
Stripped of possessions, connections, identity markers.
And there's that detail about the water.
Ugh, yeah. Losing access to running water, forced to sup beer from a puddle full of cigarette butts. That image alone, from the review, it's grim.
It tells you everything about his desperation, as the reviewer saw it.
Absolutely. And the humiliation is ongoing. The reviewer mentions coffee thrown on him, beatings.
Being treated like riffraff.
Explicitly, yeah. And his mental state, according to the review, just deteriorates. He becomes desperate, rambling to strangers.
About mortgage brokers and family dinners.
Yeah, like grasping at normalcy while everything's falling apart.
Yeah, there's that scene in the car park.
Oh, the laughing scene. The reviewer makes a point of saying everyone laughs at him for an uncomfortably long time.
That emphasis on the length,
Yeah,
it suggests how painful and degrading the reviewer found that moment.
definitely. It all builds towards his breakdown.
His eventual descent into violence, and the reviewer has a very specific description for this.
Gloriously Cajun in its flamboyance.
Huh. Okay, so the reviewer definitely saw Cage doing his signature thing.
Seems like it. It's their assessment of how Cage's performance style fits the breakdown.
And they give that one really memorable example.
The dead rat.
Cage trying to stuff a dead rat into an overgrown frat boy's mouth.
Okay, yeah. That certainly sounds flamboyant and very Cajun, as the reviewer puts it.
But the ending itself, how does the reviewer describe that?
As shocking and sad.
Sad. Interesting.
Yeah, they mention his childhood memories coming back, triggered by seeing another haunted soul on the beach. So maybe some layer of tragedy there.
And the pacing towards the end.
The reviewer notes the last 20 minutes feel increasingly frantic and laced with menace, so it doesn't let up.
Right to the end. So what's the reviewer's overall verdict then, despite all this darkness and humiliation?
Surprisingly positive, actually. They think it feels like one of those future Cage classics.
Right praise.
And they call Cage himself endlessly watchable in this role.
Do they mention anyone else?
Yeah, they credit Julian McMahon as a perfectly polished nemesis.
Fits that description of him earlier.
Totally. And the Bay Boys. The reviewer says they make you jeer at the screen.
Which is kind of what you want from good movie antagonists, right?
Exactly. So, yeah, the reviewer seems really impressed overall.
So if we step back and look at the picture painted by this reviewer.
It's a film using a beautiful setting as a facade.
Right, to explore some pretty dark stuff. Localism, entitlement, toxic masculinity.
Tracking one man's complete breakdown under all this pressure.
Anchored by a performance the reviewer found perfectly suited to Nicolas Cage. Intense, physical, humiliating, and ultimately violent.
And memorable, it seems. The reviewer concludes it will keep you hooked right up until the color-saturated credits roll.
Okay, so we've followed the reviewer's journey through their experience of the surfer, from that beautiful, deceptive opening,
Through the heat, the hostility, the breakdown,
touching on those themes of localism and masculinity they highlighted.
and ending with that Cajun climax and the reviewer's positive take.
It's quite a ride, just based on their words. You get a strong sense of the atmosphere and the impact it had on them.
Yeah, the details they chose to include really paint a vivid picture.
So for you listening, thinking about everything this one reviewer has described, that clash between the setting and the events, The specific humiliations, the violence.
The way his dignity and connections are stripped away.
Here's something to mull over, based purely on this review. What does this film, as seen through the reviewer's eyes, suggest about the potential for darkness hiding in supposedly perfect places?
And maybe how fragile is our sense of belonging, or even sanity, when challenged so relentlessly by those who claim ownership over a space?